So the beauty of using Zapier is it's fully managed, or this process is fully managed and controlled by Zapier. So you can imagine how difficult it would be to do this on a manual basis. You've got 200 different subscriptions. You've got to remember which day they're on, and then obviously perform the right task. So something like this is perfect for automation. And so I'm going to show some of the, features that Zapier has that allows this to be possible.
This is the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast for entrepreneurs and business owners looking for cool online tools, apps and strategies to make business easy online. My name is Nick Cree and I'm your host. Each episode features a guest expert demystifying the online universe, sharing inspirational ideas and providing tested real-world strategies to help you get the most of what's available online to grow your business today. Don't be a slave to your business, get your business working for you. Subscribe now and get some great content and ideas for you and your business today. Well, now is my favourite time of the evening. This is where I get to kick back, to relax. And this is where I get my hit of learning something unique and special. And it just so happens that I've got some great people along here. That's all you guys who are here to come and learn with me tonight as well too. So our guest speaker tonight is going to be talking about Zapier and the power of Zapier to do some pretty incredible things with your business. And he is one of the top 5 specialists here in Australia. In fact, one of the only sort of accredited specialists here in Australia. His name's Anthony Pham, and he is passionate about helping businesses streamline their processes by connecting their systems. And he's going to tell you how this works. As I said earlier, he does run a basketball coaching business in Brisbane called AP Basketball Academy. And it's one of the most highly rated businesses in that space. And he is one to walk his talk as well. So having set up the business, he has also automated the majority of their business tasks in there so he can focus in on the coaching rather than on the administration. So he is a walking advocate for what he does tonight. So I'd like you to put your hands together and let's give a nice warm virtual welcome to Anthony Pham.
Awesome. Thank you, Nick, for the very generous greeting. Great to be here tonight. Thank you, everyone, for coming out, and hopefully you'll take away a few things. I'm just going to share my screen and we'll go from there. So tonight's talk will be more about possibilities and what you could do with Zapier in your business. We're not really going to go into the nitty gritty. Zapier does have some really excellent resources, some 101 courses, 102 courses that will cover that. But tonight it's more about getting you to think outside the box and thinking within your business what's possible. So this is a formal definition of what Zapier is. Can we just get in the chat who's used Zapier or Zapier? I think a few people said they have. Yeah. Cool. Nick's a big fan. Installed but not used. Yeah. Cool. I'm going to close this, sorry. So it's basically a middleman between different apps. So Nick's brought up a few apps before, 5 different apps, and those apps are great. But if they were to not talk with other apps, it wouldn't be very useful because the data wouldn't go anywhere. So using Streak as an example. So can you guys still see my screen there, the Streak integrations? Yeah. So these are some integrations that I just had a look at. Streak integrates with Google Forms, Calendly, and Typeform. So these are what's called native integrations. And what that means is the developers from Google Forms are working with the developers from Streak, and they're together trying to improve that customer experience for their customers. And so what happens if you don't use these apps? Does that mean you can't use Streak? And that's where Zapier comes in. So Zapier is that middleman that takes all the data from Streak and then integrates it with your current systems. By the way, if you have any questions at any point, guys, please feel free to ask. We want to make it interactive. And so essentially that's what Zapier is. It connects different apps together. So they play nice, essentially. Now, what I find most people are doing when it comes to Zap is they're using it for really basic tasks. So you might be, in this example, sending forms from Google Forms to MailChimp, or alternatively, you're setting up a Trello card when you get an email. Now, this is good, but by itself, it's not game changing. That I find that's not the right way to approach using Zapier, because what's going to happen is you're going to have 100 zaps and it's very confusing. They don't work together, and just generally not the way I would recommend using Zapier. Cool. So there are a lot of templates that Zapier have released. So they're all about helping you make the most of your system. So we're talking 6,000 different apps and infinite amount of combinations that you can use. So do check out the Zapier templates to see if your apps, which I can almost guarantee they do have Zapier connections for. Like I said, we're only really scratching the surface if that's the way we approach it. So what I would recommend to get the most out of your Zapier is thinking big picture. So Nick spoke this morning about how he's automated some emails to remind customers to pay. And so I think, Nick, correct me if I'm wrong, that's just a basic setup. I think it's a 2-week delay and then it sends out an email. Is that right?
Pretty much. Yep. Very basic sort of thing.
Yeah. So this is more a little bit, I guess, on steroids. So you can see here what's happening is this is for a client I've worked with recently, and they have a lot of subscriptions. And sometimes when that fails, it's not enough just to send them one reminder. And so they've built out, or together we've built out a full process using Stripe, MailChimp, Slack, and text, just to really reinforce that they need to pay, because cash flow is everything. So the beauty of using Zapier is it's fully managed, or this process is fully managed and controlled by Zapier. So you can imagine how difficult it would be to do this on a manual basis. You've got 200 different subscriptions. You've got to remember which day they're on, and then obviously perform the right task. So something like this is perfect for automation. And so I'm going to show some of the, I guess, features that Zapier has that allows this to be possible. So Zapier has what's called a delay step, which means you can tell it to wait a certain period of time, similar to how Nick set up the 2-week delay. And so you can tell it to wait 7 days before sending this reminder, wait an additional 8 days, and so on. So it's really good at kind of managing that overall workflow. And then at each step, you would have what's called a filter. And so obviously if the customer pays, you want to end the sequence. And so Zapier has what's called filters. And so you would say if the customer's paid, then stop the sequence, or if they haven't, continue the sequence. And then we've got some other features here called parts, and that's basically when your customer journey splits into different sections. So a good example is some people like to be text, some people like to be emailed, some people like to be called. So you could have a different paths basically for when a customer signs up and they say what their preferred method of contact is. So if they prefer to be text, then you might put them in that chain. So again, Zapier can control that purely just based on logic, and you get a really bespoke customer journey like Nick was mentioning before. So they get basically what they want, and you've set it up as well. So I think, Nick, you spoke a bit about authenticity this morning. And so you still have to create the messaging. So you still get those touch points. Some really cool tools that I would recommend and really underutilized is what's called email parsers. So basically what you can do here is if you get templated emails. So let's take a survey. Who in the room buys leads or gets leads from a directory? Does anyone get sort of, Nick does, seeing a few hands up. Yep. So something like that, Nick, would be great because it comes in the same format. And so what you could do is automatically forward that to what's called an email parser. And over time, it will learn and extract that data. And so you could, instead of just sifting through manually, is that what you're doing at the moment? Or do you use this?
I actually use a parser, so yeah. I've got it and had it play. So probably not to the extent that you've done it, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So anything template. So it doesn't have to be leads. It could be forms, like we were using Jot forms before. It could be anything that comes in templated, and you want to extract that data. You can use Zapier. So you basically set it up. You forward the email to your parsing box, and then you would highlight the text that you're looking to select. So you might be interested in some numbers, some emails, whatever data you're looking to get. And then it will actually save that data as a field for you to redistribute to wherever you like. So you might want to send that to your CRM. You might want to send them an email back. And yeah, it saves you a lot of time. A lot of people I talk to, they're spending, could be 15 minutes per email. I know one client, he gets 100 leads a week, which is a good problem to have. But what he's doing is manually sifting through those emails, spending, 10, 15 minutes per email, and then replying to that. And so we've managed to fully automate that process. So really powerful stuff. So this is an example of another parser. So this is for a support call. They're an IT company, and basically they have a form when they fill out after speaking to a customer, and then it pulls out the data, which then logs it against their record in their system. So quick show of hands, who thinks that they might be able to use email parsing in their business? If you just spend a little bit of time and think about the emails you get. Rhonda's saying no. Yeah, you don't get templated emails coming through, Rhonda? You're just on mute, Rhonda.
No, I work one-on-one with people, so I don't buy lists, and yeah, all of this is probably a little bit too fancy for me, but it's interesting to look at. I'm hoping one day I'll need it.
So you're saying every email you send is kind of bespoke and just having different conversations?
Well, I'm not in the emailing business really. Right. Why I jumped on was because I did want to start sending a newsletter, but I've got my own, that's to my own database. So
yeah, cool. Does anyone else think they'll be able to use email parsers in their business? No, that's right. Food for thought. So moving on, another really cool tool that Zapier has. So if you've ever had, who's used MailChimp or some sort of emailing campaign? So a really common pet hate that people have is sometimes your CRM will save the name as a full name. And then when you enter it into MailChimp, it saves it as a full name. And so what you get is you're sending emails to Nick Cree, and it's a little bit too formal when you're emailing someone's full name. And so Zapier can come in, split that text up and save it as separate fields. So that's a big game changer for people who use MailChimp and those email campaigns. This is one of my other favorite tools. So within Zapier, there are some things you can do with time. So if you've ever created tasks and task templates, this can actually create the due dates organically through Zapier. So you can automate all your tasks with your ideal due dates. So you can ask Zapier to find today's date and then formulate your ideal, again, customer journey. So if you want to respond to them in 6 days, you can actually do that through Zapier. So it's super powerful because a lot of the CRMs don't have that functionality. I was helping a client with Airtable and it doesn't have that functionality. So using Zapier, we were able to fully automate his task and his checklists. All right. I think I'm going too quick, but everyone's been asking about Zapier plus ChatGPT, everyone's favorite buzzword at the moment. So as of a week ago, they have gotten in bed together, so to speak. And so soon you'll be able to, from the interface of ChatGPT, access your apps through Zapier. So I will take you to a link just to showcase, I guess, what's possible. So this is directly on the website, and this is kind of what it would look like. And so you can see here, the example is we're asking ChatGPT to see if Oshi is on the lead list. And if it's not, then we're adding her. And so you can see here how powerful that is using ChatGPT in combination with your systems. So here are some more examples. You can send messages to your team. And then also sending emails to prospects. So really combining the capabilities of both platforms. So I'm really not sure what we'll be doing in the future, Nick, if this goes mainstream. I think everyone's just going to be using this, but really exciting to combine the power of AI, like we spoke about last week, with the power of automation.
So can I just ask a question there, Anthony? So in terms of the sort of ChatGPT, and I suppose the capabilities of it. One of the things that I think Donnie last week was talking about was the ability to get ChatGPT to create an email response based on the content of the email that's received.
Yeah.
So with Zapier, so if that's the case there, how do you see using Zapier and ChatGPT together for say responding to emails or putting out information there to help respond helpfully?
Yeah, so you'll be able to ask ChatGPT to respond, if you like, with AI for certain emails. So, we touched on the importance of having that touch point, but maybe if it's FAQs, the same way you would do now, you could set up FAQs on your website through a chatbot or through Facebook. If you feel like it's not important to have that conversation, you can use AI. And, for those who've used ChatGPT, it is pretty powerful. It is pretty human-like in ways, and you can definitely ask it to be more human. But yeah, to answer your question, it can respond to those emails if you like. So you would just prompt it to, for new inquiries or new Slack messages or whatever, you could prompt it to respond with AI. You could also get it to check if you're a little bit concerned about if it's too AI, then you can get it to get approval from you as well. So still in early access, still in beta phase, but yeah, really excited for what it will be able to do for people's businesses, because that's the future, right? Yeah. I feel like I've blitzed through my talk, so we will open it up to just general questions. I don't know if it's too tech heavy for some people, but it's more about possibilities where people, I think, download Zapier and they get stuck at a certain point. And so I would really try to spend the time to understand some of these features, because it is a lot more powerful than people think. Like I said, most people are just setting up basic zaps, but you can see, going back to this slide here, just how powerful it can be to implement this into this kind of system. And then you're talking about other systems like marketing, lead management, all sorts of things that we don't want to really be spending time on.
So the reason why this particular example is important, if I got it right, Anthony, is that Stripe as a payment system will send out 3 emails when someone's missed a payment, and then after the third email, it just stops. So no more go out. And so the reason for doing this is that you can continue those email reminders when the 3 emails are exhausted out of Stripe. Is that the idea behind this?
Correct. And also Stripe emails don't look the most engaging. I don't think it comes from your email. And so I think people have a tendency not to want to click on it. But it's just extra touch points. People are busy, things might get flagged to spam. So it's just really making sure that by the end of the 60 days, if they haven't paid, then we've really done everything we can to follow up on that. And same goes for every other type of system. Yeah. Did we want to open it up, Nick, just to some Q&As, or maybe if you wanted to discuss a few points with me? Yep. Did anyone have any particular questions around Zap?
So Paul, you've got one, haven't you?
Yeah, beginner's explanation.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go back through the questions. Yeah, what was your question, Paul? Could Zap be
So basically, it's a case of transcribing information from a new customer. It always starts with a conversation, not somebody jumping online and filling out forms and ordering anything. And the conversation is all recorded basically on a piece of paper, or if I'm really lucky at the right time, I can open the form online and type it all in. But I need it then to go into my Outlook contacts, calendar, Xero, generate an invoice from Xero, and when Uncle Nick beats me up enough and I actually start using Drip that he set up for me, into Drip CRM, where there'll be some other ongoing automations. It just takes time to transcribe all the copy and pasting of all that details. It's not just a name, address and phone number.
Yeah,
it's all about someone's funeral. So who is the person who's died? What are their birth and death dates? Where's the service going to be? Who else is going to be there? What funeral home is taking care of it? What's the venue? Who's the contact? If it's in a church or a club, or all that type of stuff. It's quite a bit of junk on here.
Yep. So you could fully automate that process.
You're
collecting the data. Collecting the data as you go. So at the end of the day, it's just about data. So it looks like you're doing a good job collecting that data, and from there, wherever you want it to go, whatever you want to do with it, Zapier can help.
You can talk to all of those systems.
100%, yeah.
And get them to talk to each other.
100%.
Okay, I mean,
how much time? Just out of curiosity, how much time do you think that would save you?
well, it takes at least half an hour just to do all the transcriptions, and there's also creating folders in OneDrive, creating events in Vimeo. You know, it's probably an hour.
Is that per funeral?
Yeah, and that's before I actually start doing any work.
100%. So,
case
in point of perfect example where Zapier could come in to streamline that process. So
I'd just have to enter it once somewhere.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I've got this as an online form, but yeah.
100% perfect. Any other questions? Will Zapier work with any email system? I wouldn't say any email system. Do you mean just Gmail or Outlook? So that's for Ray. Yeah, it'll work with both systems. So it'll be able to access your emails and send the emails through your current emailing system.
Well, there's another question here from Anna, who was saying that didn't understand what you said about email parsers or formatters, because I don't send out emails at the moment. Could you give a beginner's explanation about what an email parser is and what the formatter is?
Yeah, so beginner explanation. So the email parser is a really cool tool that can read structured or templated emails and pull out the data that you need from it. So if you get leads, so Nick says he gets leads from somewhere. If it comes in the same format, you can actually train, similar to an AI tool, to read it and pick out that data for you. And then again, it's whatever you want to do with that data, whether you put it in your CRM or send an auto reply. So I've done that a lot with trades. Trades is really big in tradies, so they're all on high pages, they get leads. And so we set up basic auto replies to save them time. And at that point, they don't know you from a bar of soap. So emails I get from others. Yes, correct. Yeah, so it'll read your forwarding emails to another inbox, and it will read it and pick out the data, assuming it's the same format. Does that make sense, Anna? Yeah, mailing list is good. So you can also, you don't necessarily need to email. If it's a one-off, you can also extract the data as well. But this is more for consistent emails that you're getting where you want to scrape the data. But if for one-off, you can do that as well.
Sorry, I just realized I can unmute instead of typing. So are you saying if you're on like other people's mailing lists and they're sending you various newsletters and such, and this is for the purpose of trying to also get them to be your customer? Is that the purpose of this?
No, it wouldn't be used for that. It's more so for, if let's say Nick is sending me 10 leads a week and he's sending me the name, email, whatever they're interested in, I could get this tool to read those emails and then reply to them.
That's what I didn't understand. It's when people are sending you leads. Okay, I never received leads, so that's what I didn't understand.
Yeah, that's a common use case. So the example I showed before, if I go back to it, so this is an example where this is the form that this company gets after they do a support call with the client. And so at the moment, the phone system doesn't talk to their CRM. And so they don't have an idea of who needs help or who's getting help or how many calls, whatever they're logging. And so the phone system connects with their email, and now we're getting the email to connect with their CRM because it doesn't all happen at once, if that makes sense. So the phone form comes in like this, and what we've trained the parser to do is scrape out the right leads and the right details, and so we can send that off to the CRM. That's an example. Cool. Ray says, any email system? What about GetResponse have Outlook in Office 365? Can you clarify your question, Ray?
Say that again.
Could you clarify your question, please?
I have also got GetResponse as a mail out system, but I've got Outlook fully operating in Office 365.
Yep. What do you use Get Response for? Is it just more visual?
I'm using at this point for accumulating contacts and building a database. Okay.
Yep.
But I've got plenty of stuff in Outlook, but I was just trying another avenue of collecting leads from LinkedIn and also from Facebook, you know?
Yeah, definitely possible. I think
No,
the
it
main
works okay with Outlook, no problem. Eh?
Get Response.
No, Zapier.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Works
Okay.
great. I think the main thing is not to get too scared of the tools, and more so just think about what are the bottlenecks in your business and what are you trying to achieve? What would you like to automate? What would your ideal day look like? How much time do you want to spend on admin? So, I mean, let's take a quick survey. How much time is everyone spending on admin per week at the moment? So Paul mentioned he spends about half an hour per job, which adds up, right? So how many jobs are you doing a week, Paul, if you don't mind? You're on mute. You're just on mute.
Just click the unmute button, then we don't have to read your lips.
That's part of the game, right? Isn't that what we're doing?
Yeah, it's a new language.
It's usually me that says that to everyone else, isn't it? Yeah, like I only get on an average one funeral a week or even less, but it's a drudgery, just filling in all the information on all the systems that I need before I can then start and go and do the work to prepare for the event.
100%. You're out here to talk to customers and deliver a good experience, not here to...
Yeah, it's all about the personal experience. And
I think Ron's had his hand up for a while.
Hi, just following up on Paul's comment earlier. I mean, it's not really a Zapier question. I think it's probably a question for Nick, but taking the handwritten form that Nick uses and getting that into the first system, is there a way to scan the document and read it and put it into the system to start the process?
I can answer that. It depends on how good your handwriting is. So there are things called OCRs or scanners, basically. And so sometimes you might use them for Xero or tax receipts. So those kind of things can work. I think that tech is still, from what I've experienced, still developing. So I would avoid handwritten. Probably easier maybe if on your phone you type it into a note. At least it's there, and then you can possibly email it to yourself or something. Nick, do you have a different experience or?
Yeah, the OCR technology, which is optical character recognition, where it recognizes your handwriting. It is a bit, it hasn't quite got to where it needs to be, probably because no one's really, or everyone's writing is getting worse rather than better because we're typing so much these days.
My handwriting is beautiful, Nick.
Yeah. So as much as possible, if you're able to create a form, as Anthony said, which you can access by mobile phone, by computer, and fill in stuff that way there, which is simple enough to do today. You can use Jotform for that. And the good thing is that Zapier will connect to Jotform, and that will take that information out and it will put it into your CRM. It'll do things like help you with your onboarding system. So if you've got a welcome letter that needs to go out, then it will do that. I've used it for things like I belong to a networking group called BX, and I use that for following up some of the connections that I get from BX as well. So all I need to do is fill in a form on my website, which I've created on a private page there. As soon as I hit submit, then it goes through Zapier. Zapier does all the rest, which sends out a note which says something like, hey, great to meet you today. Thanks for the connection to such and such. And so it does all of that heavy work. So for me, I can get, with the networking group, it's like, it is about getting connection requests, and I might get, maybe anything between, sort of 3 and 10 at a time. By the end of the meeting, I can have all that done. I just enter it into the form in my phone, and then at the end of the meeting, it's all been done. Zapier's gone to work. It's contacted all those people by sending them an email. And so when people get home or get to their phones, the experience is, oh, wow, that was quick. And so what it does, it gives people an experience that, whereas other people are taking a week, 2 weeks, because you go home and you drop these slips that you've got on your desk thinking, I'll get to that. And then the phone rings. And then you get all of these other things that happen in business as it does. And then it just doesn't happen because you're too embarrassed to do anything with it because it's 6 months on and you think, well, they're not even going to remember me now.
Only 6.
So this starts to avoid all that. So it helps. So using it like that helps to give people a consistent experience, a quick experience, because today speed is all important when you're getting back to people. I'm terrible at it, but if I can automate it with sort of something like Zapier, and then if you're writing your emails and your messages, if you're writing them, then you write it as if you're writing it to a person, like you're having that, visually a person in front of you. And that way they get a personal email that has been written by you. It's just been pre-written by you, but they get that sort of response. And it's speed that really helps. So,
I'm so disappointed now because I thought I was just getting a personal note from you every time.
Apart from you, Ron, who gets a personal one just from me.
You are getting a personal note. It's just being hand delivered by a mailman.
Automation. Yeah,
Mailman named Zapier.
Good explanation. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Ray's got a question.
Yeah, me.
Yeah. Ray?
Yeah, okay. The question I wanted to ask was that that illustration you just spoke about collecting cards at your networking meeting. Okay. But when you're filling out and putting it into Zapier, do you put in a little reference like you met Anthony at the BX meeting on such and such a date? Will that transfer into Outlook?
Yes.
Will that put it all into Outlook?
You wouldn't put the data in directly to Zapier. You'd probably put it into a form like Nick was suggesting, into your CRM. But you're asking if it can then automatically send that email? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
but no, I mean the contact details.
Yep, it could do that.
Name, phone, etc.
Mm-hmm.
That'll put it into Outlook.
Yep, if that's what you're trying to do, yeah, it can do that.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
So one of the things you can do is some of the apps, there is an app on the phone. If you're out at networking meetings and you pick up people's business cards and collect business cards, like I'll often put a note on the back of the business card. But what it will do is you can get a scanner which sits on your phone. It'll scan the business card, and that there will connect to Zapier to then go and do all the work of setting it into your CRM and sending out your welcome message. I mean, it'll work like that, won't it, Anthony?
Yeah, that's right.
That'd save a hell of a lot of time, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. I think HubSpot.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. Yeah.
What I'm curious about, Anthony, is your basketball business. So it might be good for you to just explain how you've used Zapier to automate some of the tasks and what are some of the tasks that you've automated to give people an idea, because we're all running businesses which have got administrative tasks, and I'm assuming you're automating the administration, not the basketball coaching. So not the delivery.
Hey, there are robots out there that can do crazy things. So
yeah. So maybe just give us a bit of a snapshot as to what you're automating, what you're doing, and how that impacts you in terms of time and efficiency and people's experience.
Yeah. So the main way I use it is, so I'm at the top of, I can show you. This is just a flex. Brisbane basketball training. So I'm at the top of search ranking. So this is me and this is me. So I get about a lead a day, people looking to spend an exorbitant amount of money on their kids' basketball futures. And so obviously that's a lot of data. And so what I was doing initially, because I just didn't know any better, was the same as everyone else here, manually getting that information, manually emailing them, manually putting it into my CRM. And so that's what I've fully automated now. So as soon as they come on my website and they submit an inquiry, it puts it into the CRM, and then it will prompt them with an email to then book in a session with all the relevant times. And if they don't respond to that, then it will nudge me to then give them a call. So I only call them once they've got that information, because you don't want to call them and they would just want more information. It's kind of a waste of time. So I give them all the information, costs, times, etc. And then usually people book in, but some people don't. And so I then call them. That's really my only touch point in terms of personal touch point. And so fully booked in. So I use Acuity to manage my bookings. So it books them in and then flags them and tags them in the CRM to say that they train at this time and this is their coach. And so the way I work is I do a free trial. after the free trial, it will send them an automated email to say, how was your trial? If you'd like to continue training with us, these are the details. And again, if they don't respond to that, then I will call them. And so the only thing I'm really doing is coaching, which I've got people doing now, and just calling them when I need to. So it's very efficient. I don't spend any time jumping from apps to apps. The only thing maybe if they call me, I would, instead of doing handwritten notes, I would just jump straight into the booking app and then book them in for them, essentially. So I'd say 80% automated in terms of my touch points, and then all the marketing as well. So that's kind of how I use it for my business. But every business kind of runs the same. You've got leads coming in, you're doing something with that lead. And so, you know, you can definitely achieve the same thing in your business as well. Definitely more than possible. And that's what I'm all about, is showing everyone that it is possible.
So in terms of Tasa, is it mainly used for your marketing and sales?
Yeah, most of the admin, and then just the onboarding of clients. Yeah.
How much time does that save you?
I mean, I used to do it, probably spend 2.5 days before I automated things. And now I probably spend maybe an hour calling them a week, and that's about it. So I just set aside
2.5 days down to 1 hour.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. What do you do with the rest of that time?
Nick, I'm supposed to be going to the beach with you, but it hasn't happened yet, mate.
You're automating other businesses. What about in terms of use cases as well too?
Yes.
Things like I run a Facebook group. And so in the Facebook group, we have people apply to be that. One of the questions we've got there is that they need to give us their email address. One, so we can verify they're a real person, but two, so we can get it into our CRM so that we can then, let them know about these events. So is there a way to be able to use Zapier to do some automations on Facebook, for, some of your organic lead gathering?
Yeah, potentially. So from that, when they submit that form, you probably would get an email, right? To say someone such and such has joined the group. Yep. So from that, what you could do is to tell Zapier, when I get an email that looks like this or meets this condition, grab the email from the body and then add it to the CRM.
Although we don't get the email from it, we get the email and the questions that we asked joining the group. And so once you hit accept, that's gone forever. So you need to grab the email before you accept it. So part of the process is to extract the email out of the Facebook form, which doesn't come to you by email. And then you, once you've got the email, then it can go into your CRM and then hit accept.
Potentially, I haven't really done that much work with Facebook groups, but I can look into it for you. Some of these big tech companies don't play nice, as you know. They kind of want to keep the data for themselves and make it, I guess, more difficult to access those things. So I'm not sure. So I'll have to.
That's right. We'll try that one out for you.
Yeah, sure. We'll check it out after the call. I mean, we can check it out. We can check it out now if you want.
Oh, we could do that.
Yeah. So we've got a bit of time.
I know there's a few people here that have got Facebook groups as well.
Yeah. So for that, if you're looking for the capabilities of something, you would just go on. It's Facebook groups, Zapier. And so you would go into here, and this will show you, like the templates I showed you before, this will show you, if you scroll down, some common ways people use Facebook groups with other connections. And then what you're looking for is down here. You're looking for what can trigger a zap. So you can see here, new posts get triggered, new events get triggered, new photos and videos. But it doesn't look like there is a trigger for a new request to join. So there might be a workaround somehow. I'm not sure. So you don't get any notifications or anything at all? Nick?
Sorry, say again. I missed that.
You don't get any notifications or?
No, we only get a notification from Facebook to say someone has applied to join, and then we click on the link, and then it goes to the page there where we go to approve or disapprove them from joining. Yeah.
Interesting. I'll have to research that a bit more.
All right. No, good as gold. How many people here run courses and programs? Anyone run courses and programs? All right. So there's some good integrations in Zapier for courses and programs. And you might be able to talk about this too, Anthony. One of the things that I did was that I've got the sign up and the enrollments on one website. And then I've got the membership. So when they're applying that, they applied for membership into another website. So we keep the two separate. We've got the marketing website, which has got our sales page. It's got the payment gateway, but that in no way connects to the membership site, which is where they're eventually going to end up. So one of the use cases were that for Zapier, and that was using there was a connection to WordPress, which is the WordPress website that we're using. And it was what do you call it? It wasn't parsing, it was formatting. So formatting. And so what we're able to do with Zapier was to go and check the other website to see as soon as someone had paid and they'd successfully paid, which they did through Stripe, it would go and check the other website to see whether they were already enrolled in that website. So they might have had another course that they're a member of, but it checked that. If they didn't, it then created a user in that website so that they became a user on the website and then enrolled them in that course. If they're already, so that was one thing. And then, but if it found that they were already, or that email address was already in use in the website because they were a member of another course and they've just bought a new one, then it would come back and would follow another path, and it would simply go to the website, and it wouldn't add them as a new user. It would identify as a new user, but would then just add them to that course. So we were doing that manually when we started with it, but then with Zapier, we're able to automate the process, from when someone paid on one website, then I have them join another website. So for a protected members area. So that was a use case that for those who run courses you can do if you're using external apps there, like payment gateways and other websites to enroll people.
Awesome. How much time do you reckon that saved you?
Hours. It's days. If we had 50 people enroll, we've got to go and enroll 50 people in that other website. So that is like literally days and days and days and days a week. And what happens today is that people don't enroll in programs over a period of time. Pretty much 80% of people enroll on the last day or the last 2 days of a program. So they're waiting sort of throughout, and I'm sure no one here is guilty of this at all. And myself waiting through to the last moment there saying, okay, yep, no, I do want to do this. I've got time to do it. Well, I better get my A into G and enroll. So 80% of registrations all come in that last 2 days. And of that, probably 60% of that 80 happen on the last day. So time is a big factor, and so in order to get people in time, we had to automate the process.
Yeah, otherwise you'd be struggling.
Yeah. So I had many late nights as we were manually enrolling people, and the team was enrolling people in time for the program as well. So it really did that.
See, that's why you're aging like Benjamin Button, mate. You've got all these automations.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
I love it. Did we have any more questions from the rest of the room? Who's got some ideas on how they might be able to automate their business? Anyone got some ideas or things they're looking at maybe implementing?
Yeah, from what Nick started off with, the cards from a meeting, like I collect cards in my travels all the time. You just never know when they're going to come in handy. And I have about 6,500 people on my database that I've done business with, met in business, but I keep notes on when I met them.
Yeah.
And I can go back and prospect them and talk to them about other things. I can use that as a memory jogger. And that's why I asked about the notes and so forth, that if you met Paul at a meeting, and you wrote, and what you said, Nick, took a photo of his card, you can scribble the date on and say we met him at the BX meeting, on the 4th of April, and that gets scanned in and get loaded into the Outlook CRM, and it all goes in the right places. That's what I'm thinking about.
Yep. You could set up a jot form like the same way Nick has, and then that way you'll be able to get that info across.
Yeah, I can see some time saved there, and you don't lose the contact.
Yeah,
that's the other thing, and because also in Outlook is the categorization, You know, I know what Paul does and I know what Jeff does, and I can put them down that, you know, Paul's into videos and funeral services and things like that. And I know Nick's into what he does with his business, and I can categorize them all. And if I want to speak to people in the funeral directory business, I can just type in funerals and they all pop up, you know.
So here's an idea as well too. We had someone else, you may have remembered, Greg Smith was on here last year, and he's got a business called Send Handwritten, and they will send handwritten cards to your clients, to your prospects, to people that you want to follow up. And because it's lumpy mail, which means that people physically get something in the mail, which is unusual today, just like Paul showing up there.
Yeah.
Then what with a Zap? So here's a time-saving thing here is that you know that actually writing handwritten mail to people is going to get you results.
Yes, it does, yeah.
Yep. So if you have a system where let's say you've collected those cards, Ray, you've popped it into a form, or you scanned it with your scanner on the phone there, and it goes into Zapier, ends up in your CRM, and one of the actions that happens there is to send off a request to send handwritten, to send out a handwritten card in, 5 days, within 5 days of having met the person.
Yeah.
Then all you need to do when you've got the card is scan it, and you know that at the other end, a handwritten card is going to be sent out to this person at the other end, giving them this wow experience and making you memorable. But all you have to do is just collect the card and scan it. So that's the power of something like Zapier.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, good stuff.
Excellent. So one challenge that I would sort of have for all of you is that over the next week is to maybe just have a pad of paper beside you on your desk, or maybe not a pad, it could even be a phone, a notepad there. Make a list of some of the repetitive things that you are doing that you think, I have done this again and again and again and again. What could I do to actually automate this here? So that's the first thing. The second thing I would like you to do is to grab a piece of paper, and every time you drop the ball during the week, so you haven't called someone, you promised to do something, you haven't emailed back someone in a time that you thought is, think is an appropriate time to email them back. So have another piece of paper, well, maybe in the shape of a basketball or something, but you drop the ball one and jot those things on. So both of those will give you a list of things that are potential things that you can start to use Zapier for and to automate, because those are your bottlenecks in the business and the things that you're not getting done. It's not because you're a bad person or you haven't, or that you don't care about it. It's that often we run out of time, and then just as I come back from my meeting and put those slips on my desk, thinking I'm going to get to those later on today, and the phone rings.
Yep.
Life gets in the way.
History. Yeah.
Yep. So using Zapier as a tool, as Anthony talked about, helps you to manage those things so that you give people an exceptional experience without having to think about it.
Mm-hmm. On that first point, I will add one thing. So those who use Zapier, or those who want to try Zapier, they do a free trial as well. What you can do is download the Chrome extension. So what it will do is it will sit on the side, and a bit creepy, but it'll watch you work and recommend some potential zaps for you to use. So if it sees you spending a lot of time in one system and jumping to another system, it'll actually prompt you to say, hey, would you like to try this zap? So it's really powerful as well. This is not the right page. So sorry. Yep, this one here. So again, if you just go to the Chrome store, download the Chrome extension and sign in with your Zap account, it'll prompt you, for some zaps. So tying into your first point, Nick.
Awesome. Excellent.
Do soft boiled eggs and espresso coffee and bring it into my room in the morning.
Yep.
I actually know someone that does that. Someone that fully automates his day. He gets Uber the same time, scheduled every morning.
And she'll have a negligee on, so you're right.
All right. Well, that's probably all we've got time for tonight. So how do people get in touch with you, Anthony, if they want to have a chat further about this Zapier app?
Yeah, so I've linked my Calendly link here. So if you do have any questions, just want to have a bit of a chat and more speaking on your systems and your business, because I know today was a bit more general and broad, I'm more than happy to have a chat with you there. Nick is I believe the prize for today will be a 2-hour discovery session with myself. So we will sit down, explore your systems, get it on paper, and I'll give you some pointers on what we might be able to automate. On top of that, Nick, we are putting together a course. So if you're interested in learning Zapier for your business, or you might think it's beneficial for your clients, we're putting together a course. So if you're interested in learning more in depth about Zap, I know we covered a lot today, but there are more things and more layers. Just put an I in the chat if you're interested in doing maybe a 4-week course, and Nick and I will put that together for you guys.
And that'll be a practical course for things that you can use in your business that will pull out so that you get a real experience of putting these together and creating some zaps to automate your business. It won't be you won't need to be highly technical. That's the great thing about Zapier, is that it is for everyday lay people, and when it does get technical, that's when someone like Anthony comes in and really sort of goes to town with it as well. But something as simple as that business card example that we had, that is something that you can do in Zapier, and it's just a process that you can run through and set up. So that's the sort of thing that we'll be showing you in the course. When I say we, it'll be Anthony showing you how to do it, and I'll be following along as well. So if you're interested in finding out a wee bit more about that, just drop I into chat. Then when we've got that ready, then we can let you know sort of a bit more about it. All right, yes, we do have a door prize tonight, so I might just take back the screen there. Anthony, and the prize tonight is it's going to be 2 hours with you. Is that right, Anthony?
That's right, yeah.
And so what's that going to be going through?
So we'll put together your systems and processes. We'll take a deep, in-depth dive, and then we'll explore in depth how Zapier might be able to help.
That is awesome.
So something like Paul would be very beneficial by the sounds of it. So let's fingers crossed for Paul. He's already got something in mind.
All right, so we have our special way of drawing that. That is our wheel of names, which is now up on screen. I hope you can see it. Can you see it?
Yep.
Yep, perfect. All right, so all of your names are in it. Remember, you have to be here to win, so don't disappear now, Paul, because your name may come out of this. So we'll spin the wheel, and our lucky winner gets a sort of a 2-hour session with Anthony and get to automate their business. And the winner is so close. Neil. So Neil, you are the lucky winner. Is Neil here?
Yes, I am. Thanks.
You are indeed. Fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah.
Neil, I think you should sell it to Paul. He's very keen. You can make some money here. Arbitrage.
All right.
So when is the time frame for this?
Whatever's suitable for you. So I'll shoot you an email together with Nick, and whenever's a convenient time, we'll sit down and see what we can do.
I imagine online would be okay too.
Yeah, online will be great, yeah.
Because I'm in Malaysia at the moment for the next few weeks.
Yeah, unless you want to fly me over, or unless you want to come to Brisbane, we'll probably do it online.
Okay.
Fabulous. All right, what we'll do
Thanks
is
so much.
we will hook you up by email tomorrow. And then, you can just organise the time between yourselves. All right, well, that just leaves me to have you join me and thank Anthony for his time tonight. So let's give him a virtual round of applause. And as ever, if you've got some discoveries, some learning, some questions, go into the Business Owners Smashing It Online Facebook group. Go and post in there. Happy to answer there, and anything that comes through, I'll make sure that Anthony gets that. Maybe Anthony, if you want to sort of drop your scheduling calendar into the chat there, so that anyone that does want to book in a quick chat with Anthony just to have a look a wee bit further about what they can do with their business, you can just book in with them. Of course, Anthony's on social media as well. You'll find him on LinkedIn. So if you search for him on LinkedIn, he is there as well too. And I dare say probably on Facebook as well. So if you've enjoyed tonight's session, remember that it is on video. We will upload it to the Smash Go YouTube channel tomorrow. So it'll be available tomorrow afternoon. If you're not a subscriber yet, then now's a good time to go to YouTube and go and subscribe to the Smash Go YouTube channel. We'll drop the link is now in chat. So you just click on it and go there now. And when you do subscribe to it, you will see a little bell that appears. If you click that bell, that means you'll get a notification each time we upload these videos after the session. All right, geez, you know what? I had something else in my mind, but it's totally gone blank. So I'm not even.
Do you mind if I ask a question, Nick?
Go ahead, Anna.
Can you use Zapier to automatically post the video onto YouTube for you?
I dare say we probably could. In fact, we could do it. In fact, we might even set that one as a challenge for Anthony, just as a challenge anyway for us. But I think that we could probably post it from here directly to YouTube using Zapier. I know we can do it from Zoom anyway, but we can only stream one place at the moment, and that we just use Facebook at this stage. But good question. I like the way you're thinking.
That's how you want to approach it. Keep asking those questions, and you'll see opportunities.
Okay, very good, guys. Yeah, thank you.
All right, well, go and have a good evening. And thanks, everyone, for coming. Thanks again, Anthony, for spending the time with us. And if you are interested more about how to automate your business, remember to get in touch with Anthony. If you're interested in doing it yourself as well, then just let us know, and we'll give you the details once we've got the short course available on tonight. And look forward to seeing you next week or during the week sometime. Go and have a good evening.
Take care.
Okay, bye.
Thank you for tuning in and listening to the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast. You can also find me on social media and online. Just search for Business Owners Smashing It Online and Nick Cree, spelled Nikree, all one word. If you like this and want to hear more, subscribe now. Until next time, don't be a slave to your business. Get your business working for you.